hit, you can have the Resurrect to follow up. Here's a Leyline Seal. It hits 2 members. Gotta have the Sync instantly out here. Horrify is still available, so the Ducks still have a chance to make a play, but the Punisher has gone over.
Crisplosion again hammered into the ground, went for the Cocoon. Didn't matter. Another Ragnaros ult is hitting nothing though, but it does not matter since Wolfjoy is still finding himself in the middle of the pack. It's the wrong pack though. He falls. It's a double kill for Expert. They get the punish on top of that too, and they make it a triple as Medivh is also dead and dying. Great play by Expert, a good fight for them. And this is a ducking disaster on the side of the red team.
Experts pushing in the top lane, and they are looking for a key possibly. 3 members down for the Ducks, and as you mentioned, they are just not in a solid spot right now. Not able to float on water. They're just hoping to get around as much as they can and clear out their opponents, but Blade steps forward, and he looks aggressive.
So many of the ults haven't even been used there. No Ancestral, no Horrify. You have to ask yourself what the duck is going on here. 18 versus 16 right now. The keep is down. Ragnaros already jumping around it, but he should be on cooldown still on the Molten Core. But Expert, they want more. They are looking to see if they can get a kill and carry this to an early victory.
A kill would be good. They also can dance around for 20 seconds and get aggressive with Sanctification. However, with the Ducks having all members spawning and a portal coming up, here's a Leyline Seal. Bad Betty's by himself. He's able to juke the opponents and get back towards his teammates for the shields.
Also, Chris there comes the Cocoon once again. Dropped right away.
Sank in 5.
Yeah, Sank in 5, and also with the Cocoon dropped. I don't think they should really chase here. But then again, they want to fight. It's 19 versus 16. If you don't fight now, when will you? But that was a great cocktail. So much damage pushed on the Ducks. They need to really worry about engaging now.
Yeah, Bad Benny being on top with those cocktails, really just keeping up with the harassment. As we're going to constantly see Nick bringing out that damage.
It's one of the fantastic things if you have the level 7 quest on Greymane completed. The damage that you get with the poke is out of this world. So he's doing a fantastic job chunking them down from far away, and it makes it very difficult for the Ducks to engage into these fights.
All right, 20 around the corner. Playing Ducks are in desperate mode now. They are grabbing whatever mercs they can, any pressure they can put on the map, trying to see if they can catch Expert out of the catch here. Expert on the other side, they're dancing around. Shouldn't really go for an engage unless they see an isolation available for them. But 20, almost half a level away, and already a keep down the top right corner. They are sitting pretty.
They are indeed, and we have now 20, half a level away. That's the only thing that Expert cares about, of course. They're still trying to fight. They're looking to see if they can maybe get a quick grab since they have Medivh visible at the bot lane. And this is all that is this about. Have vision on the minimap. It's your most important tool in the game. And once that you see that your opponent is not in full force on the map, you are eager to use that fight as an opportunity. Also keep Blade in mind. He still has the option to go for the Molten Core. He has it available again.
Molten Core could be devastating for those kills. The Ducks 18 to 19, and this is kind of a moment where I think you just have to make a play. You go in for it at a disadvantage and hope you can get a kill. There is always a chance for defense, but as you mentioned, the Molten Core is pretty much game ending if you're at behind 20 to any level before 20.
And look how passive they are. Look how passive Expert is. They're just a sliver away from level 20. They do not want to lose a hero now. They're saying, why would we fight? Just get that 20 and then take the battle. And 20 is there. Storm Talons have been taken. Nick is being attacked though. Nick attacked. Leyline Seal in the back, shutting the supports down. That is the end of Greymane, but he gets resurrected.
He gets resurrected here. Going to have the sound barrier coming out as well. Wanted to make sure they didn't get hit. This fair smash does hit Rhaegar in the back right, but the Ducks are surviving and they're biting back.
The light speed coming out on 20 for Oriel, and all of a sudden Greymane, after being resurrected, turns into a race car, runs them down, and now we're having Wolfjoy low, Crisplosion to Ragnaros again with the Molten Core. Sonya has already fallen, Horrify comes out, but Wolfjoy is about to fall. Nick wants him, and Rhaegar, is he able to escape? He actually is, but Crisplosion using the portal, moving out of there. It was a nice attempt on the side of the Ducks, but it is just too much. And their core is taking damage between all of this since we had catapults chunking it down. 3 points only, and of course killing the shield, but they have to disengage. They don't have Sonya, they don't have 20, and they took damage here, and this is a frozen Punisher for Team Expert, and they are going to at least look for a keep.
Sport Bill is going to scout the opposing team. Should see some clear in the middle and maybe the top, so we can get the Ducks closer to 20, but a full level behind, as you mentioned, is incredibly scary. We need to have this Punisher baited over before the keep follows. That way the Molten Core can't be aggressive.
Yeah.
Actually, Molten Core was used, so it's not going to be able to be used. But still, Blade starts to move in here. Whenever team's getting aggressive, and Sulfur Smash and Sync up in about 10 seconds.
It was really the first time I've seen Lightspeed used on Orion. It is just
Quick, right?
Funny as hell. Yeah, it's also when the target that you resurrect stays alive, you basically reduce your cooldown by 50%. So that's super important here too. Rhaegar is down.
Sync.
This is just brutal. The leyline seal is there, but it's not going to get any value for them. They are desperately trying to stay alive, but the Punisher is on the core. Sound barriers in. This is not looking good.
This is not looking too good at all. The core falls down to 25%, falling more. We're going to have the Punisher baited over the keeps. A solid job, but finally the Molten Core does become available, and the final shots will get the core killed off. The Ducks will lose the first game, and Expert will get a 1-0 victory.
Expert looked really solid. The one thing, if you want to nitpick, I think we can talk a bit about how Ragnaros had a hard time getting his ult connected. We saw 2 that were completely missed, but outside of that, they had very good coordination in the fights. Yes, Nick face checking the last push might be a bit of an issue here, but it was also a great play from Sport Billy, who disabled it for 2 supports in the backline with a quick leyline seal. That was the only reason why they could even kill Greymane. And then all it took was really Oriel using her level 20 ability, her heroic, make sure that Greymane comes back in, and they were looking strong there. So overall, Expert with a pretty fantastic showing in game number 1.
Expert continuing to be fantastic in their matches. We'll see if they can continue to do so in game number 2. We'll be right back after this quick break.
Oh, hi, new friend. I am Brightwing. Do you know about fairy dragons? Well, we like happy things, like nature and making new friends. Ooh, and snack time. When playing with friends, the fun never ends. Hey, come back.
I once ruled Ashur-Nerub. Then came a war I could not win. I was forced into servitude. But here, in this strange place, no one commands my power. I will conquer the Nexus. Those who oppose me shall embrace the web of death. I am a Nubarak. I ruled once before. I shall rule again.
An adventure. I mean, have you seen this Nexus place? There's limitless worlds to explore. Constantly new things to see. Ew! Sure, there's danger too. What's an adventure without a little action? Oh, I can help with that. I am the Storm Scout after all. And for Storm Scouts, life is an adventure.
Oh, Lily. We actually got some Lily action yesterday in North America.
Yeah.
Gotta love some Lily.
All these annoying pandas right now.
All right, guys, we're getting ready for game number 2 here. We currently have the Team Expert currently up 1-0 over the Playing Ducks. Now, the Playing Ducks played pretty well last game. They even had Sport Billy on the Medivh, but Expert just looking pretty solid, man. They continue to be one of the best here in the league.
Yeah, they definitely are. They are the only team that took down one of the big three so far. So they're aiming for that. They're very solid on the number 4 spot, but they're aiming to just push in and make the big 3 a big 4. So far, I would say they haven't been successful in that task yet, but they are definitely starting to get there, and they're very dominant so far in the series against the Ducks. But now we have a completely different battleground coming up, so that might change things up a bit.
Yep, Expert pushing for greatness, hoping to get up there, but let's see if they can win against the Ducks here, as we will be going to Tomb of the Spider Queen. The Ducks electing to take first pick once again.
Yeah, first pick for the Ducks is coming in now, and it's the battleground choice of their opponent. And again, we always have to talk about the odd picks when we are going into an Expert game. So what have we seen in the past? We could see again a Cho'Gall. Synergy played it the last time, even though they knew they were more showing something for the fans here. But we have seen Expert with Probius on this map. They love to throw the oddball combo out every now and then. But overall, they seem to become a bit more meta in how they draft, and it suits them. It suits them really well.
It sort of is odd just on how Expert is feeling for the weekend. Do we want to play meta? Do we want to change things up a little bit? Do we want to be full ball crazy? Because they go full oddball when they do want to go oddball. I think
Gazlo?
Yeah, that one series, that was against Fnatic, right?
Yeah.
Where they just went completely off the wall. And I mean, it's fair. It's Expert. They can pull it off. But then there are moments where they want to just go full meta. And they did it against Fnatic in a match outside of the HGC, and they won 3-0.
Yep.
Like, they are very capable of running what people would call standard.
So, again, to just put this in a bit of perspective, the games here are really a sneak preview to the playoffs that we have coming on next week. So both of the teams, of course, are trying to win here and also to experiment a little bit for the series that they have there, but they're not going to show us any kind of secret strategies just yet. Then in the end, you never know what that means with Expert, as we said. So, as you said, it depends a bit on how AD feels, apparently.
Yeah, there's like the element of hiding strats, because you don't want to show them for next week, so you hold on to the crazy ones. But there's also the mind game element of just playing some weird stuff to throw your opponents off guard so they prepare for it, and then you don't even play it next week.
Yeah.
And when you're a team like Expert, who has literally a million different strategies, not literally, okay, I know what literally means, but a lot of strategies available, you can pull that out. Especially here. So let's go ahead and get ready here. Playing Ducks will ban out the Ariel. She is no longer available.
Literally.
Literally.
Yeah.
She is literally no longer available.
So with Oriel gone, that is a bit of a soft ban towards the double support compositions that can be played. Yes, of course you can still play double support, but Oriel is oftentimes a cornerstone of a double support composition. Since she has that burst heal, she very much relies on some damage dealer giving her hope, giving her the energy to use those heals. And if you have a double support, you mitigate that weakness a little bit, and you enable the damage dealer even more. So there's still combos that can be used, but that's already a first step that the Ducks take to shut it down, especially since with Oriel double support, you allow for Resurrect to be a thing.
Uther being banned out here, and I actually think it's more of a viable ban than you would think, mostly because of how close the lanes are. Uther provides just enough healing to get you away from the fight if you're about to be killed off. Wave of Light is great when you're trying to retreat too. And secondly, it looks like Expert is just a fan of not playing against him. They banned him out on the second phase last game, and now they'll ban him out once again.
Yep, the last time it also limited the pool of supports even more. Now we have both of the teams still with a variety of supports they can take. But of course, two of the more popular ones are out. We still have Lucio. We still, on top of that, have Malfurion available. And if there's going to be a ban on one of those, you have still follow-up options. As for example, Karazim, we've seen Rhaegar already, had a couple of Lily plays, and depending on how much dive your opponent uses, you can even see a Morales, which we have seen sometimes on North America, for example, in their matches. But as we're talking supports, Malfurion picked first.
Malfurion has been taken away, so the normal top-tier support being available is Lucio, but with being an Expert, you're not sure if they're going to take it away right away. There's also Gul'dan still floating around with it being 2-mana. Spider Queen can always be great, but I wouldn't mind seeing Ragnaros once again here from Expert. Played pretty solid in terms of just sitting in his lane, soaking. He didn't really hit the most impressive Sulfura smashes, but that could be a possibility for him later on. Now Team Expert will move straight into the Anubarak and also grab Greymane.
Now, with how much the Ducks struggled with the Anubarak in the past, you have to ask yourselves, did Expert just do them a favor?
Yeah, maybe. I don't want to be like mean to Crystplosion at all. Like, I just feel like as a Anubarak, he just gets left out a lot as the team. So maybe he's just not quite the hero for the team.
Yeah, it feels he always has to play it as the main tank.
Yeah.
And it seems that for them, it could be the off-tank, but not really the main tank role. That seems to really be a reoccurring theme, that if Anubarak has to take that position, that they are struggling to keep him alive and have a rough time. I could definitely see it as the off-tank on their end, that they play a double tank composition with Explosion on the main tank and then having someone trying to dive the back line. But of course, jokes aside, at this point, Anubarak in the early stages always a very, very good pick, just because you're so flexible towards the later positions in the draft.
And here we have the Ducks going into their old bread and butter. Johanna for Cresplosion. He plays an incredible Johanna. He's aggressive on the map rotations. He gets in the lines there. Also can back out himself with the Iron Skin to allow Malfurion to keep the heals on someone else. And then we have Chromester for Chris, who likes to take the title as the original Chromie in HGC Europe, even though Schwimpy showed him first.
Yeah, we have a bit of a battle between the two of them. I'm not even sure who the most successful Chromie between the two of them is.
It's Schwimpy.
It's Schwimpy?
It's Schwimpy.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is a good chance now, though, for Chris to definitely close that gap a bit and start to retake his spot. So we're going to find out how he can perform on Chromie. But before we're heading into the next picks, let's talk about the bans. Sonya banned, so that takes away from the bot lane options that the Ducks are going to have later. And the Ducks apparently are very reluctant to head into a late game against Nazeebo. They saw in the series that Dignitas played earlier how strong that can be. We all know what a brutal tool Violent Infection is in the late game. So Nazeebo is banned out, so we have no option for him to change anything. But Expert, they're going to go into their next double pick, and now we're going to find out very likely what their bot laner is going to be.
We will find out, man. Still assuming it might be the Ragnaros. I'm trying to think of what else Blade likes to play. He plays Leoric occasionally. We've seen him on Zul, too. We haven't seen a Zul in a long time, and if you're going to pull off Zul, this is the battleground you might want to use it on, especially if you want to hit that Bone Prison on someone like Malfurion or Chromie. Nazeebo also just a good ban in general if you are going to be facing off, if you are going to want to play Chromie. One Spider hitting at Violent Infection takes her down to this much health, and if one auto attack or one cocktail comes through, she's just dead. She has to use one of her level talents, either bye-bye, timeout, just to survive.
I heard you're a fan of bye-bye.
I'm a little fan, slightly. I have moments. So is Fan, by the way. I finally got that jersey. It looks good. It's a good jersey, man. I like that jersey.
He lost the bet the last time when he was challenging the HGC players to play bye-bye, and it happened immediately after he said it, so it was a fun one. But we have Morales. I talked about Morales a bit earlier, and especially when the opponent doesn't have dive, then Morales is a good option.
Yeah.
And that's what they use now. So we have a Morales on the one hand and the Kel'Thas then on the other. So with the two of them combined, there's a lot of heals available, poke from that back line that you have. You have disables to keep Morales safe a bit. Kel'Thas is going to try and bring the pain. And the question, of course, remains, are the Ducks now trying to counteract Morales with additional dive?
Typically when the Ducks do run this composition, they try to run for aggressive wave clear. They want to push in their lanes as much as possible and let Chromie do all the damage at poke end. Morales is a pretty good answer for this. First off, she has Safeguard. If she sees poke coming your way, ooh, it's going to be a Genji. Now this is different here. This actually allows for Chromie to break someone down and Genji to go in for the kill.
That's another thing on my mind right now.
What is that?
We always talk about how scary Sport Billy on Zeratul is. This looks very much as if we could see Sport Billy on Genji, and that is a frightening thought.
New hero?
New tool to play around with? I mean, we don't know 100%, we have to wait for the game to start, but it's the logical consequence of him playing Zeratul for his team, and him usually being one of those very playmaking heroes for the Ducks.
Yeah.
So right now, I could see the Genji play, and we've seen cool Genji play yesterday already.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of Genji already in the HGC this weekend.
Varian now?
In North America. For the final pick?
Varian against Genji, what do you think?
No. I'm down with it. You get the lockdown. The only fear I have is how do you get your engages? You have a Nubrax, so yeah, you could go for it. Varian would be a solid pickup for the final here. It's going to be Stitches, though, instead.
Okay, so Stitches putting the fear into Chromie. Yeah, we have also lockdown attempt with Kel'Thas, and Uberak can provide stuns, so that's definitely tools